Good afternoon, welcome to ZTN News Blitz, our top stories. Unstable exchange rate affects Zim's fuel pricing. Zim doctors want malaria patients tested for COVID-19. Zambia's COVID-19 death toll now at 3. COVID-19, Zim Rugby star says sport will suffer. Zimbabwe's fuel prices are not affected by global fuel trends as the country has an unstable exchange rate. The oil market has been hard hit with the prices sliding to record lows. For instance, the U.S. oil prices dropped to a 21-year low as demand dried up. The price of a barrel of West Texas Intermediate, the benchmark for U.S. oil, dropped 14% to $15.65 in Asia trading on Monday. Energy and Power Development Minister Fortune Chassi explains.
Well, basically there are two determinants on oil pricing. The international price and our own local editions, chief of which is the exchange rate. So, in the opening, that's the major consideration. And then internally, we will know that there is a transport cost that we add to enable transporters to transport fuel to various areas. For example, Masasa to Mazoe, for argument's sake, is the same as Masasa to Fikos. So those are some of the intricacies. So that's really the major story that's central.
He believes gas prices will fall.
Yeah, it's true that people are using gas a lot. But there are many issues that we need to deal with in terms of organizing that sector. It's one that hasn't been sufficiently regulated from the pricing point of view and the quality point of view. And we are currently addressing those aspects.
The tobacco selling season is upon us once again, but like any other sector, it will not be business as usual due to the coronavirus. With the official day for sales to begin yet to be announced, President Mnangagwa has called for all stakeholders to decentralize trade this year. This means farmers will not be flocking to Harare as per tradition. However, since most farmers and merchants were used to doing business in Harare, will the President's call be implementable? We spoke to Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board Chief Executive Officer Dr. Andrew Matibiri, who say they are currently assessing the situation and official communication will be made soon.
How it can be done effectively. Again, a statement will be put out shortly, I think within a day or two, by the responsible minister. Maybe. Yeah. So I can't say any more than that.
Zimbabwe is in its malaria peak season, which according to the Ministry of Health is between February and May. Over 100 people have succumbed to the disease so far this year, with more than 100,000 cases of malaria reported countrywide. With Zimbabwe and the rest of the world battling COVID-19, the outbreak of malaria, although quite usual during this time of the year, has stoked speculation. Some people seem to suggest these figures are unusual and could be linked to COVID-19. Medical practitioners in Zimbabwe say government needs to test for COVID-19 and malaria patients to clear any doubts. Zimbabwe Medical Association Secretary General Dr. Sacrifice Chirisa speaks.
Also urge the authorities to investigate and to make sure that this malaria is not in itself COVID. I think that's where the whole thing is, that all the people that are suffering from malaria should also have a COVID test, just to make sure and to bring comfort to the medical doctors or the caregivers that they are not dealing with COVID.
We also caught up with Dr. Brighton Chireka, who is based in the United Kingdom, who shared his thoughts on the COVID-19 malaria debate.
Is there a link between the outbreak of malaria and COVID? The Minister of Health should come out clearly to the people and tell us that they have tested those cases, and those cases are actually genuinely malaria. There's no link between malaria and COVID. By coming up with such information, that will also make people trust their government and also avoid these fake news that are circulating. But if we leave a vacuum, if we don't empower our people, then there's always a room for people manipulating and coming up with fake news.
As Zimbabwe readies itself for an extended lockdown, people who have been in remand now have to wait longer before their matters are heard in the courts. In a circular, the Judicial Services Commission said all pending criminal cases originally remanded before May will now only be heard starting on May the 4th. Yesterday, President Emmerson Mnangagwa extended the country's lockdown by a further 14 days, saying it is yet to meet World Health Organization (WHO) guidelines on lifting lockdowns. Initially, the country was under a 21-day total lockdown. Retailers in Zimbabwe have put to rest any fears of possible shortages of basic commodities following the extension of the country's lockdown by a further 14 days. Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers (CZR) President Denford Mutashi told ZTN that exemptions extended to manufacturers will enable retailers to keep stocking. He said small-scale registered retailers were also coming on board to plug shortages presently being experienced by major supermarkets.
Because the extension is really important. The manufacturers have also been allowed to open, and that simply means that supply will improve. But on the same note, we are also issuing letters to the small to medium registered formal players for them also to open, and on that trajectory, we are happy with the number that we have so far issued across the country. And those will come in to augment, or rather to become alternatives from the already established players.
Meanwhile, analysts say some companies that are not operational during the national lockdown period may struggle to pay their workers. Employers Confederation of Zimbabwe (EMCO's Executive Director Nesta Mukwewa admitted that while it was going to be difficult for employers to honor this month's salaries, there was need to open dialogue relative to resources.
Each employer will look at their own capacity. It's very difficult to come up with a common position to say we are paying or we are not paying. As I said, someone with resources would say yes, it's easy, and someone without resources would say I can't. So, each case will be considered on its own merit. It's very difficult to come up with one concrete, issue to say yes, employers are going to.
Industry in Zimbabwe is asking for tax relief measures for the month of April. The Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce (ZNCC) says most companies that have not been operating during the lockdown may find it difficult to meet tax obligations. ZNCC Harare Chapter Chairperson Mike Kamungeremu spoke to ZTN.
The need by the government to take precaution by extending the lockdown period since the cases are increasing. But as business, we also expected that there was going to be a bit of relief for the businesses, considering that we did not operate in the month of April. I know there are some businesses that could not even pay as you earn on the 10th. And we know that when you fail to do that, you normally get charged 100% penalty and then interest. And we expect the government at least to give us relief by not levying penalties and interest on delayed statutory payments, because definitely some businesses are going to delay.
News Blitz continues shortly after these messages. Don't go away.
During this COVID-19 crisis, join Access Forex in delivering food to the underprivileged in our communities. Let's take action. Join the Feed a Million Challenge. Let every Zimbabwean have food on their table. Access Forex, helping you take care of home. Visit www.feedamillion.co.zw. Access Forex, bringing you closer to home.
The COVID-19 death toll in Zambia has risen to 3 after the death of a 19-year-old female patient who was reported yesterday. Zambia's Health Minister, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, says the Southern African country recorded 4 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, including 2 medical personnel from Chilenje Hospital. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports, starting with rugby. Zimbabwe's Sables and Cheetahs star Ryan O'Neill believes things will never be the same in sport after COVID-19. Clubs from different sporting disciplines are being forced to make budget cuts in the face of an uncertain future. O'Neill told ZTN that every sports personality will need to play a part for things to go back to normal.
I think the harsh reality is that sports will take a knock during the COVID-19 and the lockdown, but I think everyone will realize how much they've missed sports during the time, and I truly believe that sports has the ability to change people's lives. So hopefully us as sportsmen can throw ourselves back into sports in as big a way as possible, and calling for all sports fanatics out there to go out and support sports again and go and watch games and tune into live games and support the sportsmen who are playing. That'll be the only way that sports can flourish again after the lockdown.
Now, O'Neill is not the only Zimbabwean athlete who finds himself in a depressing environment in the face of the coronavirus. ZTN spoke to one of Zimbabwe's star athletes in track and field events, Chingetai Mapaya, who is based in the United States.
Lockdown, I've definitely been staying indoors as it is the safest thing to do right now. And just to stay fit, I've been doing a lot of cardio exercises involving star jumps, high knees, butt kicks, everything involving things that we can do indoors. I've been doing a program called Insanity Max that my coach gave me. It just helps with like staying fit and not just sitting at home doing nothing. And I've also been doing a lot of core workouts for core stability. And honestly speaking, after this lockdown, I feel like things will go back to normal and everything will be better.
Former Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder Esrom Nyandoro will be auctioning some of his shirts on Instagram this Thursday in order to raise funds for the coronavirus fight in Zimbabwe. The initiative, called #1,000,000 masks and sanitizers for Zim. Organizers include a former Miss Zimbabwe, Samantha Chuma. News Blitz on ZTN comes to a close. Thanks for watching. Diplomatic Passport comes your way later today with the latest updates around COVID-19 from around the globe. Don't miss that. Good afternoon.